Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Tuesday, February 4th, 2020. As the days go by, more and more people are concerned about the spread of the coronavirus. So New Jersey's governor is trying to get ahead of it and protect the state. Eli has that report.
Governor Phil Murphy on Monday launched a task force to make sure New Jersey is prepared for any threat from the surging coronavirus. Murphy also noted that the Newark Liberty International Airport is one of the 11 major U.S. airports that receive flights from China and are requiring enhanced screening for the virus. There are no confirmed cases of the coronavirus in New Jersey, but Murphy said it's critical that the state has strong preparedness and protocols in place. By establishing the Coronavirus Task Force, we are bringing together experts across state agencies, health officials, and federal partners to ensure that we are working collaboratively to protect the health and safety of all New Jerseyans, the governor stated. According to an executive order Murphy signed yesterday, the task force will coordinate all state efforts to prepare and respond to public health hazard that was posed by the coronavirus. The task force is chaired by State Health Commissioner Judith Persicilli and will include members of the State Human Services and Law and Public Safety, Education and Homeland Security Department, as well as the State Police. They will also coordinate with the federal government and Newark Airport to make sure there is effective communication and information available to the public. Plus, they will coordinate with hospitals and healthcare facilities to manage any possible treatment for patients with symptoms or risks.
During the month of February, many people and communities will be directing their attention to the celebration contributions of Black Americans. Let's go to Rihanna for an introduction to the importance and origins of Black History Month.
The month of February is dedicated to the celebration of Black History Month, which brings awareness to the struggles and honors the triumphs of African Americans in U.S. history. The celebration was started in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, an African American historian, scholar, educator, and publisher. February also marks the anniversary of the creation of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The NAACP was developed by African American leaders who fought for civil rights. Some notable people who made breakthroughs for African Americans are Rosa Parks, who helped spark the civil rights movement by refusing to give up her public bus seat to a white man, Jackie Robinson, the first African American to play Major League Baseball, Hattie McDaniel, the first African American performer to win an Academy Award for Gone with the Wind, and Barack Obama, the first African American president of the United States.
Now time for announcements. Congratulations to the bowling team for finishing fourth in their state sectional Group 1 tournament on Friday. This was led by Franciel Mello's 225 and 196, as well as Dan Gretton's 187. Polka Club meeting Thursday, February 6th at 3:15 p.m. in the library. We will be taking our club picture for the yearbook. NMA Club yearbook pictures Thursday, February 6th after school in the Media Center. Meeting to follow room 105. Future Health Careers Club will be having a special guest speaker on Friday, February 7th during fourth period. A registered nurse who works as a forensic nurse for the sexual assault team at the county prosecutor's office will be speaking. If you would like to attend this program, you must see Ms. Haddad to sign up. Our club and National Art Honor Society will be meeting Fridays after school in room 102 during the school year. We are working on projects and sometimes exploring new media. Join us. Also, our club and NAHS are collecting real or made-up recipes connecting to community, culture, or connections. These can be any size, handwritten, and decorated, and will be sent to a program associated with the Bezos Family Foundation. For every recipe submitted, $3 will be donated to the organizations providing food to undernourished people around the world. Please help. See Ms. Grutro for further information and supplies. Breakfast program. Start your day the right way. Our school offers a breakfast program available in the cafeteria starting at 7:10 a.m. Full price is $1.85 and reduced is 30 cents. Breakfast has many benefits for our students. Take the advantage of our breakfast program. Job opportunity. Subway is hiring for Saturdays and Sundays at $11 per hour. If interested, pick up an application in the main office and bring to the Subway at 79 Garden State Parkway North in Colonia. Summer camp is seeking counselors. Looking to fill counselor position at the high school level, $7 an hour, and college level, $10.30 an hour. Must have experience in one or more of the following area: arts and crafts, baton, cheerleading, color guard, dance, digital gaming, drawing, fitness, lifeguard, robotics, technology, theater. Also looking to fill position of adult custodian, $16 an hour. Complete and return your application to the summer camp mailbox or office no later than February 7th at 12 noon to be considered. Attention juniors, gala bids are now on sale. If need a packet, you may pick up one from Ms. Kowalski in room 7. Gala will be held at the Westwood in Garwood on Thursday, February 27th. All bids and payments are due no later than February 13th. On today's sports schedule, boys basketball will be home with JV starting at 4 p.m. and varsity starting at 7:30 p.m. Girls basketball will be playing away at Metuchen High School. Game times are 5:30 for JV and 7 p.m. for varsity. Also, the varsity bowling team will face off against Cranford at 3 p.m. Good luck, Panthers.
Want to talk about controversial topics? Then Debate Club is for you.
Debate is open in room 7 every other Wednesday.
Come and watch our debates.
Dude, I can't believe you feel that way about immigration. Are you serious, man?
I'm not joking.
You're not joking? Really? Really?
I disagree with you.
Really? Well, I think your opinion's garbage.
Guys, relax. You all have excellent points. Why don't you guys just join Debate Club? We hope to see you there.
Groundhog's Day was a few days ago, but we can't ignore this story. Why should Staten Island's Chuck and Punxsutawney Phil get all the credit? What about New Jersey's own Milton Mel? Eli has that report.
This past Sunday morning, New Jersey's very own furry meteorologist Milton Mel celebrated his 12th Groundhog Day to bring in the good news that we will be getting an early spring. In front of a crowd of about 400 people at the American Legion Post number 25, Milton Mel was giving his groundhog wranglers John McNamara and David Potter a difficult time because he was quite shy and nervous in front of such a large crowd, refusing to come out of his cage and make the big prediction. In the end, Mel did not see his shadow, and we were given the great news to stay tuned for an early spring.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Political headlines in the United States and abroad lead off today's edition of CNN 10. My name is Carl Azus, welcoming our viewers from around the world. Last night in the U.S. state of Iowa, a series of meetings were held to help determine whom Americans will vote for in the 2020 presidential election. These are the Iowa caucuses. Voters will be moving around a room, grouping up according to their favorite candidates, and through this process, they'll help determine a winner. Two candidates are challenging U.S. President Donald Trump for the Republican Party's nomination. The incumbent leader is expected to win it without a problem. For Democrats, though, there are 11 candidates in the race, and a win in Iowa could give any one of them a lot of momentum going into the other caucuses and primaries, while a loss could make the path forward a lot harder. Results came in after we produced this show, but CNN.com will have the latest. The next contest on the election calendar is set for next Tuesday, when the New Hampshire primaries are held. Today is another big day in American politics. At 9 o'clock tonight, President Trump is scheduled to fulfill a constitutional requirement found in Article 2, Section 3. Quote, "He shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the State of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient." The televised address as we know it and the opposing party's response have become tradition, though they're not required by the Constitution.
It's a report card and it's a prognostication. It is the president saying, this is what I would like to do in the coming year. The State of the Union is essentially a homework assignment from the framers of the Constitution to every president who has lived ever since. The Constitution tells them that they periodically must tell Congress how the country's doing. If a president wants to lean hard to one side or hard to the other side, then you might see more political purpose in the State of the Union, although often it's just a general sense of, let's move this direction. The whole thing is a huge pageant. The president comes walking in, escorted by members of the House and Senate. The sergeant of arms announces him, and everybody stands and cheers. And there's quite a crowd there. Everyone has assigned seating. Right behind the president, you will find the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives and the President of the Senate, which will be the Vice President of the United States. And then the two parties generally stay on their side of the aisle. You typically have the Supreme Court there, the Joint Chiefs of Staff are there representing the military, and the First Lady will also be there, usually with some sort of special guest in recent years that will illustrate some point the president is making. One of the coolest parts of the presidential address is always the missing cabinet member and figuring out who it's going to be. One member of the cabinet always has to be somewhere else in case something terrible happened. So presumably you could have the Secretary of Agriculture sitting somewhere thinking about hog futures, and suddenly he's the President of the United States, which would be a huge shock to him. Since the 1960s, the opposition has also issued a response. That is someone selected by the opposing party to stand up and refute what the president said, or say perhaps we have different ideas about how the government should be conducting itself and where we should be going in the coming year.
The European Union, an economic and political alliance, now has 27 member countries. The United Kingdom has officially left it in what was called Brexit, the British exit from the EU. Britain is the first country ever to leave the alliance. It had been a founding member of the EU when it was formed in 1993, But in June of 2016, Britons voted 52% to 48% to leave the Union, basically because they didn't agree with its economic and political policies. In an election in December, Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Conservative Party won enough seats in Parliament to finally push through Brexit. Now, Britain has until the end of the year to negotiate its new relationship with the EU.
We are leaving. We're never coming back.
It's been almost 4 years since the United Kingdom voted to leave the European Union, and it's been quite a journey.
It is the long and tortured story of Brexit.
Here's a look back at how Brexit unfolded. It all started in 2016, when a referendum asked the British people whether they wanted to stay in the EU or leave.
For the first time ever, a nation has voted to leave the European Union.
From there, it was a series of complicated twists and turns, elections and resignations, deadlines and extensions. Prime Minister David Cameron stepped down right after the referendum result.
I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination.
Former Home Secretary Theresa May took his place and vowed she would be the one to deliver Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit.
Negotiating plans were crafted, and nearly a year after the referendum, the official process of the UK leaving the EU began, with a departure date of March the 29th, 2019. Seeking a stronger mandate to negotiate with the EU, May called a general election.
The country is coming together, but Westminster is not.
But her plan to get a stronger majority backfired.
It didn't go in her favor. The Conservative Party, her party, losing its majority.
During the Brexit negotiations, the two sides had a huge number of matters to settle, including citizens' rights, the Irish border, and the divorce bill.
They have to pay.
After more than a year of negotiations, the two sides reached a deal.
Theresa May has just scored a big win in Brussels, but her biggest challenge will come on the home front. Mrs May has around 2 weeks to convince Parliament to back her deal.
But May was handed the largest defeat in the history of the House of Commons when lawmakers voted the deal down.
The noes have it.
May tried to pass the bill twice more, but to no avail, and so she had no choice but to ask to extend the Brexit deadline.
A flexible extension of the Article 50 period until the 31st of October.
After her failure to secure Britain's exit from the EU, May gave in to political pressure and announced she would step down.
I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold.
Boris Johnson goes through the door of number 10.
Johnson's mission was to deliver Brexit by October the 31st.
There is scope to do a new deal.
At the last minute, he managed to do just that.
There is a new Brexit deal.
But just like his predecessor, he failed to get British lawmakers on board. So Johnson was forced to ask the European Union for a further extension to the Brexit process. The October 31st deadline was pushed back. And for the third time in 4 years, Britain had a general election, after Johnson called for an early election, hoping that would give him the majority that he needed to pass the deal.
3.5 years on from the referendum, this is a nation as fatigued over the issue as it is divided.
The Prime Minister campaigned on a single, simple slogan, "Get Brexit done," and Britain seemed to agree. With a new majority, Brexit got the green light in the UK Parliament, with a departure date of January 31st. Now, as Johnson ushers Britain out of the EU, the next complex stage of the process begins, negotiating the future trade deal with the EU, which he said would be done by the end of 2020.
A new clock is ticking. 11 months is extremely short.
If a deal isn't reached, Britain risks crashing out of the European Union. And with that no-deal cliff edge still looming at the end of the year, the reality is that Brexit is just getting started.
A telescope on top of a Hawaiian volcano captured our 10 out of 10 segment today. The kaleidoscopic image of oozing amber looks as if the telescope was pointed down into a volcano, but this is actually the surface of the sun, and the movement you see is believed to be rising and sinking cells of plasma. Scientists hope projects like this will help them better understand Earth's nearest star and better predict space weather and solar storms. Maybe the sun isn't ready for its close-up. Despite its radiance and prominence, maybe it's afraid we'll see its spots, and it might call the whole telescope of this project on flare. Even at 93 million miles away, it might try to keep its distance from the human public eye because, as they say, like farther, like sun. I'm Carl Azus. It's great to have Lincoln High School watching today. It's in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Could your school be picked tomorrow? Subscribe and comment on our official YouTube channel.